Hi, everybody. It's Alicia. How's everybody doing? Oh, let me see. I'm going to turn on my webcam real quick to talk to you guys. And then I'm going to turn it over to our special guest that we have for today. You guys have constantly been asking for us to bring on a social media expert. So we did. And I can't wait to tell you how I know her. So, you know what? My fancy webcam is not plugged in. So I'm just going to see if I can do my computer. Hi, everybody. Hope you guys are doing great. And if you can see me and you can see the screen, just put yes in the comments. David is in the house. What's up, David? What's up, everybody? I'm excited. You know what? Social media is so important, and we've just put such a big emphasis on it in our business. And you guys know we have a social media agency. We're always talking about social media, but years ago, I was in the UK. Lorette and I were in the UK speaking at an event. Mark Anastasi, he had this event, and me and my sister were there as speakers. And there was this social media lady that was there who was an expert. And so, of course, everybody wanted to talk to her. So did me and Lorette. So we talked to her. Her name is Karina Essa. Hi, everybody. I'm looking at everybody's comments. Her name is Karina. And so we met her. We had a great time with her. Her energy, as you will see today, is just so inviting. She was so warm. There was also another guy at the event named Steve Essa. Notice her name is Karina Essa, but at the time that was not her last name. But Lorette and I did some like planning behind the scenes, and Steve asked Lorette and I to go out to dinner with him and his business partner. And then we're like, can we bring a friend? And we brought Karina, and his business partner later told him, he was like, that was such a setup. They were so setting you up with that girl. But it's a really good story because guess what? They are married and they have been together ever since. And Steve was just so smitten with her. So I'm excited to hear and see her present and reconnect with her. So when I kept getting all these requests for a social media expert, we went out and hunted down Karina. Her brother, Mark, actually put us back in touch, and it's been so exciting. So are you guys ready to learn how to put together and execute a social media marketing plan for more traffic and more leads? Like so many of you have been asking, how do I use social to get more traffic and more leads? So today I want you to, look, listen, turn off all of your distractions, get ready to focus on this amazing lady. Karina, are you there? Can you hear me?
I am. So nice to see your face. It's been so long, and yeah, you shared that story really well. I remember we met 9 years ago. Actually, no, 10 years ago. We met back
Wow.
in 2011, so 10 years ago,
Oh,
and and you were secretly plotting for me to meet Stephen. I was not very interested. I don't
wasn't.
know. I guess I wasn't thinking about it, but hey, love at first sight, love at second sight. I'd say love at
Love it,
second
second
sight.
set. I remember you were going to the airport or something. Did he ever take that ride to the airport with you, or he walked you out or something like that? Do you
Yes,
remember that?
he booked a cab for me. I was going to take the bus to the airport. He's like, "No, you're not taking the bus. Let me put you in a cab." So he was a true gentleman.
He's a true gentleman. It was a great story. And so I love you so much. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on here and teaching everybody today. I'm going to sit in the background and watch. So I'll turn off my webcam. Raina's here, Ava's here, like we're all here to learn something. So we're excited that you're here. So everybody, let's give Karina a warm welcome. She can see the chat comments. So if you would just say, hi, Karina, Corinna, by the way. Hi, Karina, in the comments. I will turn it over to her. And let's get ready to learn about social media marketing. All right, Karina, take it away.
Thank you. All right, hi everyone. Now, before I get started, I just want to make sure that you can see my screen and hear my voice. So if that's the case, just type in yes in the chat box. I just want to make sure. Oh, great, fantastic. A lot of people saying yes. Okay, great. Chris and Keisha. Wow, we have so many people. Patty, Jackie. Sorry if I don't say everyone's name. Sean says yes. Madhu, Wendell. I hope I'm pronouncing your names correctly. Barry and Helen. Wow, so many yeses coming through. Greetings from Tyra. Uh, Fantastic. And Alex and Peter. Okay, great. Well, now's the time to grab a piece of paper and a pen because I'll be going through my 5-step system, and you'll probably want to take lots of notes because really putting together a social media marketing plan is really the backbone of your business. It can really make or break your success. So that's why I always tell people to always have a strategic plan prior to doing anything on social media, because what happens if you don't have one is that you do things sporadically, randomly, and when you're inconsistent on social media, you end up having inconsistent results. So we don't want that. So let's get started. How to put together and execute a social media marketing plan for more traffic and leads. Now, what is a social media marketing plan? So the summary is simply the summary of everything you plan to do and hope to achieve for your business using social networks. So it's simply a list of everything you'll do on a daily basis, weekly basis, and monthly basis on social networks in order to drive traffic to all your other touch points. So it could be your webinars if you have a webinar, it could be your website, it could be your e-commerce store, it could be your YouTube channel, wherever it is that you want to be sending your social media followers to. So that's really what a strategic plan is. But how do you actually put it together? That's what I'll explain in this webinar. So why do you need a social media marketing plan? For many reasons. First of all, it holds you accountable, and that's what we need when it comes to social media, because what happens is people log in on social media because they feel like, oh, it's been a while since I posted something, and then they get distracted because they see other people's videos and posts, and then they have cold feet, they want to write something, and then they don't because they think it's silly or not good enough. With a strategic plan, it really holds you accountable. So you don't waste any time trying to think what you should be doing. You know exactly what you should be doing and why. So it holds you accountable. Anyone from your team can actually execute it. So let's say you're going on holiday, for example, or you have no internet access, or you're taking a break, or for whatever reason you cannot update your social media, anyone from your team can just take over your strategic plan and just execute what's on there. So that's another reason. And another reason you need a social media marketing plan is because it ensures you're taking all the steps to achieve your goals. So you're not missing anything. So you're taking really all the steps to achieve your goals. And it sets your priorities. So that's also very important. Not everything on social media is a priority. Your priority might be to drive traffic somewhere. Your priority might be to make sales. Your priority might be to build an audience. So it really sets your priorities right. And another reason you need a social media marketing plan is because it actually gives you direction. You know why you're doing what you're doing on social media. It really gives you a sense of direction, and of course it increases your productivity. You're not second guessing yourself. You just log in, do what you're meant to do according to your marketing plan, and you log out. So it really increases your productivity, because social media, when it's not done properly or not done according to a plan, what happens is it can really chew up a lot of your time for nothing. It leads to nothing. Because social media is great, but it also can be a massive trap as well. So step number one, so grab a pen and paper, because we're going to go on to step number one. The first step before you put together a strategic plan is you need to audit your accounts. So first, you need to know exactly how many platforms you are on. And I know this is obvious, but a lot of people say to me, oh, I opened a Pinterest account a few years ago. I don't remember the logins. I don't know if it's still active. I know I'm on Instagram, but I'm not too sure if I've posted something. I know it's connected to another account, but I don't know what's been happening. And people are actually quite confused about what they have and what they don't have. So they have no idea what's going on with their online assets, with their brand online. So you need to sort of do an inventory of your online assets, your social media accounts. So how many platforms are you on? Do you use the same usernames? Some people use their personal names on Instagram, but they'll use their brand name on Facebook, and it's all very, very confusing. So you need to know, are you using the same username? So if someone can find you on Facebook, and they just as easily with the same username find you on Twitter or Instagram or Pinterest, you need to know that, and you need to write it down when you're doing this auditing process. When was the last time you updated each social media account you have? um, it always surprised me. Some people haven't updated their social media accounts for years, and it makes their business look like it's completely dead or closed, and that might not be the case. I've seen real estate agents, and I've been on their social media, and I've thought that they stopped their business because their social media account hadn't been updated for years. So it can be quite misleading if you haven't updated your social media accounts for a long time. So when was the last time you actually updated each social media account you have? Do they all have the same profile picture? And again, sometimes I see that people have their pictures as a profile picture. Sometimes they have their logo on another account. Sometimes they have other random cropped pictures on another account, and there's no brand consistency. The message is not consistent either. So do they all have the same profile picture? Do they all have the same description? So on each social media account, you have a bio. And again, believe it or not, I've seen businesses who have a completely different description on one account compared to another account. So you need to have the same message, the same description. It's not having the same description. It's like having a different vision and mission for every different social media account that you're on, and it doesn't make any sense. Your description should be the same across all your social media accounts. And how many fans and followers do you have? That's also important to write down. So you might be ahead on Facebook, you might have a large and engaged audience on Facebook, but that might not be the case on Twitter or on Instagram. So your priority for your strategic plan might be to build up your audience on Instagram, and your priority might be for Facebook different. It might be you already have an audience on Facebook, but your priority would be to convert that audience. So you see, auditing your accounts will set your priorities as well, because you'll know where you're behind and where you're ahead. And how much engagement are you getting? Because again, you might have a large audience and you might be thinking, yeah, I'm not doing too bad, but really that audience is not targeted, and therefore it's not engaged. So every time you post something, you're just spinning your wheels because they're actually not clicking on your links and not engaging with your content. So again, the engagement rate is also important to know. So Scott here has asked a question. Scott is asking, before business develops a social media marketing plan, don't they have to have a business plan? Sure. I mean, a business plan also includes a marketing plan, and therefore would also eventually include a social media marketing plan. So it works hand in hand. Business plans include marketing plans. So you could include your social media marketing plan into your business plan, or it can be something that you do separately if that's what you want. You might have a more broad general marketing plan for your business plan, and then have a more specific detailed social media marketing plan. Someone else is asking, should we be using separate accounts set up for our branding instead of personal accounts? So it really depends. So if you're trying to grow your personal brand, like you're a coach, for example, you would use your personal name because you're building your personal business, your personal brand. Like Tony Robbins, for example, he uses a personal account, like his personal name, first name and last name, because he's building a personal brand. But if you're like Starbucks, for example, and there's no person behind the business, no one's really the face of the business, then you would use purely maybe a logo and the business name. So it really depends on the nature of your business. If it's a personal brand you're growing, so you're growing yourself, building your own personal brand, or if you actually have a business name that has nothing to do with you. So it really depends on what you're trying to build. And Jessica is asking, how do you calculate engagement rate? So the engagement rate is basically it's based on the number of people who see your post. So it's based on the reach. So let's say if 100 people see your posts on average, so I'm talking about averages here. If 100 people are seeing your posts, and on average about 10 people engage, then it means that your engagement rate is 10%. Does that make sense? So that's how you calculate engagement rate. It's based on the reach and the number of engagements. So if you have, if you post something, 100 people have seen the post, and then 10 people have liked the post, that's a 10% engagement rate. I hope that makes sense. Sean is asking another interesting question. He's asking if you're using your personal name for your business, I imagine. Would you have a business page or personal profile on Facebook? I advise that you have a business page because you can use Facebook ads, and you cannot use Facebook ads on a personal profile page. So a personal profile page are there for people who just use Facebook for non-business reasons, to keep in touch with friends and family. That's why you have a cap of the number of friends you can have. So you kind of have a cap on your audience, so you cannot have more than 5,000 friends. So it kind of puts a cap on your reach. Whereas with Facebook pages, you can use Facebook ads, which is really key for marketing, and you can have an unlimited number of fans. So I would recommend for business purposes to use a business page. I hope that makes sense, Sean. So just to give you an example here, going back to step one, auditing your account, you can see, for example, that there's a business called CrossFit Sydney. And that's their username on Facebook. So on Facebook, they have this profile picture and this banner, and they have this username. And then when you go onto their Twitter account, you have a completely different experience. It's completely dormant. It looks like that business doesn't exist. So they have the same username, so you know it's pretty much the same business, but no profile picture, no banner, no audience. So again, that's what you want to look for. You want to see, well, has one of my accounts been sitting dormant or inactive? Maybe I should make sure that it's now up to date or catches up with my other accounts. So that's what you're looking for when you're auditing your accounts, where you're ahead, where you're behind. You want to see your strengths, your weaknesses, any threats that you may have. If you have massive competitors on one platform such as Facebook, but not many competitors on Instagram, that's really what you're looking for. You're trying to do an inventory of what you have in your assets. And then you can create a sort of a spreadsheet and just log all that information in a spreadsheet. When we audit the accounts of our clients, that's what we do. So we name the social network, so we put a column here for the social network. We put the username, the audience size, the date it was last updated, the engagement rate, how many clicks we're getting per social platform, the conversion rate, the branding. If there's any inconsistencies with the branding, you might say, hey, the logo is missing, or the banner is missing, or the description is missing, any inconsistencies with the branding, and then who your competitors are on that specific platform, on that specific social network. Now, before I jump into step number two, I've got a few questions coming through. Rob is asking, how do you update your description? So usually it depends really on which social network you're on, because the dashboards are different on each social media platform. But usually when you log into an account, it will allow you to go to settings, and usually through the settings you can update descriptions. But it really depends. You might have to click a few places and figure it out, depending on which platform you're on. But it's really easy and pretty straightforward. Jessica is asking a good question here. What counts as engagements? So engagement is really how many people are liking the post, are sharing the post, and commenting the post. So likes, shares, and comments are what we call engagements. Rob is asking, do you use any technology to schedule posting content? Yes, sometimes I use the built-in scheduling tool. So Facebook has a built-in scheduling tool. Twitter has a built-in scheduling tool. So you can schedule within the platform. I sometimes use that, absolutely. Scott is asking, is there a place where you can see how many people saw your post? Yep, the analytics section tells you your reach. That's called the reach. It means how many people have actually seen the post, and that's usually in the analytics section of your account. So on Facebook, for example, it's called Insights, Facebook Insights, and on Twitter, it's called Twitter Analytics. So Cyrus is asking, does this method help us to focus on one platform, or does it mean we got to juggle all of them? So it's really up to you how many platforms you choose to be on and to market yourself. You can be on one, you can be on two, on three. It really depends on what makes sense for your business and what you're willing to do and what you have time for. But you know, it's better. I always tell people sometimes less is more. Sometimes it's better to be just on one platform and do it well. Um, than be on three and do it not very well. So it really depends on what you can commit to. Victoria's asking, how about Instagram? Any scheduling tools? And I believe there's no scheduling tool for Instagram at this stage. They haven't introduced a scheduling tool. There are third-party tools that allow you to schedule through Instagram. Like Later, for example. Later is a software that allows you to schedule, but it's third party. It's not through Instagram. So, okay, so that's the question so far, but keep them coming if there's anything that I mentioned that you'd like me to clarify. It is live, so take advantage of that. I can answer any questions at any time. Kisha is actually making a contribution here saying that Planoly, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. I've never heard of it myself. That's not the one I use, but Planoly allows Instagram scheduling. So thanks, Kisha, for your contribution. So here's step number 2, identify your competition. So your competition also, what they're doing, what's working for them, what's not working for them, will actually shape your strategic plan. So look at your competitors, what they're doing on the platform you're on. So let's say if you're heavily marketing on Facebook, you want to know what your competitors are also doing on Facebook themselves to see, hey, you know, you can model them for things that are working for them. So look at how many fans and followers they have to see whether you're pretty much equal to them or a bit behind or ahead. It's always good to know where you stand. How often do they post? Do they post really often or sporadically? How do they reward their fans and followers? So if they keep on giving gifts and special discounts and they give special treatment to their fans and followers and you're not, then you might want to do that. What do they post? If they post really funny things that tends to do really well with their audience, you might want to start doing that. If they post fantastic resources that really add value to the lives of their fans and followers, you might want to do that as well. That will give you ideas on how to nurture the relationship you have with your fans and followers. How much engagement are they getting? Because the engagement rate really depends on the industry. Some industries get a lot of engagement because their audience, their target audience is very engaged on social media. Other industries, not so much. So you want to compare your engagement rate, not compare it to the Kardashians, for example, but compare it to people in your industry. And then how do they engage with their audience? Do they have giveaways? Do they share videos? How many reviews and testimonials do they have? They might have hundreds of positive reviews and you might have none or two or three. Again, your priority might be to catch up to that, you see, because when people start comparing your business with your competitors, they look at you on social media and they might say, hey, that business has better reviews or more people follow them, so they must be better. And that might not be true, but that's the only way they can draw this kind of conclusion. So you want to make sure you're not behind, especially when it comes to reviews and testimonials, because remember, all things being equal, if you have a better social media presence than people in the same sort of business and industry as you, you'll attract more leads, because people will tend to be attracted to people who seem to have a better presence, a more positive presence on social media, because the only way they can compare your products and services is based on what they see online. There's no other way for them. So if your social media presence looks either out of date or inactive or negative in any other way or unprofessional, then that automatically reflects badly on you. So you might be a very established brand, you might have served thousands of customers who are super happy, they love your products, but if your social media presence doesn't reflect that, then it's actually costing you business. Barry's asking if there is a fee for a Facebook business page. No, it's free to use, only ads. If you want to create Facebook ads, you'll have to pay for ads. Carlene is asking, how do you identify your most avid competitors? Well, if you're not too sure who your competitors are, and that can happen, you just do a Google search of people who provide similar businesses. So let's say you have an e-commerce store that sell some addresses online. For example, you could just literally just type in some addresses in Google and see what businesses show up on the first page. And these would be your most direct competitors. And then look at whether they ship where you ship to make sure that you're comparing apples with apples, really. And if they provide pretty much the same types of products in the same price range, okay, because you might have a luxury brand and there might not be a luxury brand. So you start looking at what they're selling and see whether it's similar to what you're selling, and then you check out their social media. That's how you identify a competition. Angela is asking, is there a way to get rid of or delete an old business account? Yes, absolutely. You can delete a personal account, you can delete a business page, absolutely. Scott is asking, how many prospects compare multiple possible providers on social media? Well, it's impossible to know because you don't know behind the scenes who's doing their due diligence before buying from you. It's called the invisible sales process. It's a sales process that happens without you knowing it. That's why it's called the invisible sales process. People are vetting you constantly against others constantly online. So before they buy from you, they've clicked and visited various different websites. I see myself, I do a lot of online shopping. Most of the things I buy is online. And before I buy somewhere, especially for the first time, if I've bought before, then I just go back to the same place if I've bought before. But if it's the first time I'm buying, I will look at different websites. I will read the reviews to make sure this is not a dodgy website. I will definitely get my products delivered the way they describe it. So I start reading reviews. I look at their social media. I see, is this business still active, or will they just take my money and I'll never get my product. So I do all that, but these businesses will never know that. It's impossible for them to see the due diligence I do prior to buying from them. So that's why, to answer your question, it's actually impossible to know how many people are actually vetting you against other businesses before they buy from you. So Paul is asking that I was taking notes and missed a point on the previous page of step 2. So I'll just quickly go back. This was step 2, Paula. I hope that helps. All right. So then, as I said, all things being equal, if you have a better social media presence, you'll attract more leads. That goes without saying. You look more established, more professional, more reliable, more trustworthy, and then they'll buy from you, of course. To identify your competition, there's a tool that I really like on Facebook under Facebook Insights, and it's called Pages to Watch. And you can actually add all your competitors' pages without them knowing, by the way. So this is just for you. No one will actually know that you're adding your competitors' pages, and it will actually all in one place on a dashboard. It will create this sort of table, and it will compare your performance against their performance. So for example, you'll see their audience size, how much they posted, how many posts, their engagement rate. So that's a really good tool if you want to have a look and compare yourself all in one sort of table, if you want to compare yourself against your competitors. So it's under Facebook Insights on your Facebook page, and it's called Pages to Watch. And you click on Add Pages and you type the name of the page you want to watch, and it will add them automatically, and then it will create a sort of a comparison. It will compare your performance compared to theirs. So that's a really good tool. On Twitter, there's something sort of similar. It's called Twitter Lists. And you can create a private list. So there's two types of lists. There's private lists and public lists. So if it's to compare competitors, then make it private so no one sees it. And then add in that private list that only you can see all the accounts of your competitors. So just add their usernames, and then you'll kind of see all their tweets, what they're promoting, their engagement rate, their audience size, all under one sort of folder called competitors. So that's another tool. Jackie saying, I thought Facebook discontinued Insights. They haven't. Insights are still there. They definitely haven't discontinued it, Jackie. Now, step number 3, setting goals and KPIs. So once you've done your due diligence, done your research, you've audited your account, you've looked at what your competitors are doing, any threats or any weaknesses or strengths you might have, then now's the time to set goals based on that, based on where you're at. People will always say to me, oh, my goal is to make sales. Yes, of course, it's everyone's goal to make sales, but you need to set goals based on where you're at. So it's not really realistic to say I want to make sales if you're starting from scratch and you have 0 audience members, right? You have to be realistic when you set goals. It's based on where you're at, what can you achieve in the next few weeks. So if you're starting from scratch, your obvious goal would be obviously to build an audience. If you've already got an audience, but you don't have a lot of engagement, then your goal would be, well, you need to build engagement, because if people are not engaged with your content, they're definitely never going to buy from you. So your goals need to be based on where you're at. I can't stress that enough. So your goals, of course, have to be specific, they have to be measurable, they have to be achievable, they have to be realistic and timely. What I mean by timely is they have to be based on where you are at right now, right? And it cannot be goal set in the future, too much into the future. They have to be, I usually like to set 3 months goals. So within 3 months, I like that. So it's not too soon, but it's not also way too much into the future either. So within 3 months, set a goal, and then after 3 months, review, and then set the next goal, etc., etc. So, for example, types of goals you can set. It could be to increase the traffic to your website, okay? So you might have a big audience that's engaged, and you want to turn that audience, engaged audience, into traffic. In that case, be very specific about, well, how many clicks per day do I need to have from social media, and by when should I be able to achieve that specific number, okay? Your goal could be increased email subscribers. That's my goal. I do a lot of email marketing. So for me, the number one goal for my social media presence is to turn my audience, my social media audience, into names and emails straight to my database. So my goal, for example, is to have 300 email subscribers a month. That is my goal. It's realistic. It's based on where I'm at. I've got an audience and they're engaged. So it's realistic, and it's based on where I'm at right now with what I have, right? If I had a bigger audience, maybe my goal would be 400 email subscribers a month. But what's realistic right now, based on what I have, is 300 email subscribers a month. Maybe your goal is to grow your audience. So you're starting from scratch, you've got no one. Your goal could be, well, I want within 3 months to have 1,000 Facebook fans or 3,000 Instagram followers. So that answers the next question. Someone's asking if starting out was realistic for goals. If you're starting out, your main goal should be to grow your audience, because without an audience, you can't achieve anything on social media. Your goal could be to have more reach. So maybe you have an audience, but not enough people are seeing your posts. So it could be to increase your reach. Okay, that could be your goal. If you see that, yep, I have an audience, but not a lot of people are actually seeing my posts in their newsfeed, then your goal might be more reach. Okay, more eyeballs to your posts. It could be that you have a big audience, but they're not engaged. So your goal could be more engagement. And as I said, engagement is the number of likes, comments, and shares that you have. Then once you've set your goals, know your key performance indicators. So how are you going to measure your goal, make sure that you are reaching your goal? So for example, if your goal is more traffic, your key performance indicator will be the number of clicks you're getting. If your goal is more sales, the key performance indicator will be your revenue. If your goal is more engagement, your key performance indicator will be the number of shares and comments and likes you're getting. Okay, so you always need to know what you're actually measuring. Okay, that's the key performance indicator, is what you are actually measuring. If your goal is more brand awareness, then in that case, what you'll be measuring is more reach. So a few questions have come through before I get into step number 4. Barry's saying, someone else created our Facebook group. I took it over. It seems I have some issues doing some things. I'm new to Facebook, but wondering if as a designated admin, would I have permissions to do everything? Well, yes, as an admin, you should have access to everything. So it could be that you might not be too familiar on how to navigate a Facebook group, but if you're an admin, you should have uh, um, the authority to do anything on that Facebook group. You should have permissions. Now, the group might have certain restrictions when it was set up, but as an admin, still you should be able to do anything. So it might have restrictions for members, but it shouldn't have restrictions for you as the administrator. Someone's asking any numbers for goals for someone who is new. So if you're completely new and starting from scratch and you want to build an audience, I always say try and get at least 1,000 people as fast as possible in a month, even if you can, and you can do that through paying for advertising. If you're not going to go the advertising route, so it's the slow organic way, it could take months to reach 1,000 people. But I always tell people, if you're starting from scratch and you want get the momentum going and hit the ground running with social media, set your goal to 1,000 audience members and try and do it within a month. And you can do it using Facebook ads. Yes, you'll need an advertising budget, but you only have to do it once, set up ads once for that month. So allocate a budget until you achieve it, and then you can maybe stop the ads and grow your audience more organically. But it's really important to get the momentum going and hit the ground running with at least 1,000 people. So do whatever it takes, pay for advertising if that's what it takes to reach that 1,000 people within a month. Vanessa is asking, how do I build an audience for a children's book? There's many ways you can build an audience. And one of the ways, of course, is through Facebook advertising. That's one way. Another way is through endorsements with social media influencers. So you can ask other people on social media to endorse you, to endorse your account, and to mention you. There's really many ways. You can email your database. You can pay people with a database. You can pay them to actually invite their database to follow you on social media. There's different ways you can do that. So Scott had the same question. What are good strategies to grow your audience if you're new? All the ways I've mentioned here. I mean, the most obvious one, the easiest one, the fastest one is through paid advertising. So Facebook ads, Twitter ads, Instagram ads. The other way is through influencers. So paying influencers to endorse you. That's another way. So they basically mention you, they do a shout out for you to their audience. And other ways is if you have an email list or a network somehow, you've got a network of people simply asking them to follow you. I know some people have they have a big list of phone contacts, and they just send a group SMS saying, hey, I've just opened this Facebook page, or I'm new to Twitter, would you mind following me? Something like that. That would get the ball rolling. Barry saying, thank you, that helps. Fantastic. Sean is asking, do you ever use boosting to get traffic or only ads? Yep, I use boosted posts all the time, and I use ads as well. I do all of that. Ron is asking, how many different social media accounts do you recommend minimum? And again, it's not the minimum. It's really less is more. I'd rather you were on one but did a good job than on two and did a bad job. So it's how many make sense for you, how many you can personally manage. Some people go on Instagram, but it really doesn't serve a purpose because the target audience doesn't use Instagram, for example. Some people are on Facebook, but they don't have a budget for Facebook ads, so nothing really ever happens on Facebook because they don't use Facebook ads, and Facebook without Facebook ads, unfortunately, nothing ever happens because Facebook prioritizes advertisers. So it really depends on everyone's circumstances, on their business, on their budgets, on their target audience. It really depends. I would say stick to one and do a good job. And if you really want an answer, and a clear answer with a number, I'd say stick to one. That's the most obvious choice for your target audience and your business and what you're trying to achieve, and do a good job there. Okay, Vanessa Bear saying thank you. Janice is asking, what was that tool you mentioned earlier in order, I think, to schedule Instagram, to schedule Instagram post? Let me have a look for you. It was Planoly, Planoly, so Planoly. I hope that answers your question. It was an Instagram scheduling tool. Another question has come through here. Is there a good place to look to see which platforms my market is on? And you're saying it's seniors, for example. Usually you can Google the demographics of each platform. So you can Google Instagram demographics, Facebook demographics, and it actually tells you all the demographics for each platform, and you can make a decision based on that. So Facebook might tell you, well, 60% are over 50 years old, employed, etc., etc. So if you actually Google Facebook demographics or Instagram demographics, it will actually tell you. Okay. Okay, so Sushil, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, saying 6,500 people reach, 628 reactions, comments, and shares. So what's the percentage of engagement? That would be approximately 10%. That would be 10%. If you've got about 6,000 people being reached and then 600 people engaging, then that's 10%. Scott is saying, are certain types of content better suited for certain platforms? For example, would you put a post on Facebook and perhaps not post the same thing on Twitter? Exactly, absolutely. For example, Twitter only allows you to have 280 characters. So if your post is very long on Facebook, obviously you're restricted. So your tweet will have to be different. On Instagram, you can only post visual content. So you wouldn't be able to post a tweet on Instagram because it's a visual platform, so you can only post images and videos. So absolutely, you have to adapt your content to the platform. You have to, because the platforms are different. They have restrictions, they have rules. Instagram only allows visual content. Twitter only allows you up to 280 characters per tweet. So yes, absolutely. You have to adapt your content according to the platform you're on. So let's go to step number 4 here. Step number 4, the content plan and the posting schedule. So then, as you're putting together your strategic plan, part of your strategic plan is actually putting together the list of posts you'll be posting and when you'll be posting them. Okay, so once you've created your strategic plan, all you need to do is open up the document and you copy and paste based on your strategic plan. So In your content plan posting schedule, you write the frequency of posts, the types of posts you'll be posting. So you have to mention whether it's going to be quotes, plain text, articles, pictures, testimonials, special occasions. And you want to make sure you vary the types of posts because you don't want your post to be one-dimensional. So vary the types of posts. Who will be responsible for creating and publishing the content? It might be you, it might be someone else. You need to make sure who will be responsible for actually copying and pasting or creating the images or the videos for it. That's all put and outlined in the strategic plan. Very important to know, so you know who's accountable. So if it's not done, well, who's to blame? That's very important. Where will you drive traffic to? Again, very important. Where do you want people to go? Do you want to stay? Do you want them to stay on Facebook? Then you don't put any links. Do you want them to check out your YouTube channel? Then some of your posts will have the link to your YouTube channel. Do you want them to visit your e-commerce store? Then some of the posts will have the link to your e-commerce store. Do you want them to buy a specific product? In that case, you'll have the links to specific products for each post. So you see, where you're going to be driving traffic to will shape your post, because you're not going to be talking about gardening and all of a sudden for that post about gardening you're going to stick a link that redirects people to some addresses. I mean, my examples are extreme here, but you see, where you want to drive traffic to will shape your posts. And what hashtags are you going to be using? That's also important. Some people put random hashtags on random posts. They're not following specific strategy. So they put random hashtags at random times on random posts. Again, even the hashtags need to be planned ahead of time because it's all part of the strategy. If a post doesn't need a hashtag, then don't put a hashtag. If a post needs a hashtag and there's a reason behind it, then put a hashtag. So that's also important. Oh, David says, Karina, excellent presentation so far. Oh, thank you so much, David. That means a lot to me. Thank you. Scott is asking, are there templates to fill in for testimonials? So when you're asking people for testimonials, yes, you can use templates, and there are different templates you can Google to inviting people to share testimonials. There are also testimonial templates as well. So you can say to people, hey, please leave a testimonial, and here's the template. And you can Google that as well. I hope that answers your question. And then once you've decided all this, just bear with me, my screen is frozen. All right. So then you can decide, well, how much of what will I be posting? So 10% could be curated content, so content taken from other places. 10% could be quotes. 5% could be a post about your company culture. So if your company culture is to keep customers happy, for example, like Zappos, the online shoe store, their company culture is to keep customers happy. So a lot of their posts, the majority of their posts, is about sharing how happy their customers are. Okay, your company culture could be being transparent, so you can be showing a lot of behind the scenes content, posts about behind the scenes things happening behind the scenes of your business. So what is your company culture, and how many posts are you going to allocate in order to share your company culture? 5% could be company achievements. If you've had testimonials or awards, 5% of your post could be about testimonials and awards. 25% could be promotional, so you promoting your products and services. You don't want to be overly promotional. You don't want your social media to just be a billboard of ads. Okay, so that's why I'm sharing with you different ways to make your social media not so obviously promotional, because again, less is more. If you keep on just using social media to sell, you become predictable. It's not really engaging for people, and people will stop looking at your posts, and therefore when they stop looking at your posts, they stop clicking on them and buying from you. So sometimes it's better to keep the promotional posts to choose few as possible, so that when you do promote something, it actually makes an impact. 5% could be talking about special occasions. You could be talking about Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's Day, Christmas, Easter. Talk about, special occasions, special events. 5% could be stories relevant to your industry. So if your industry is all about organic farming, and and there's some new rules about organic farming, anything relevant to your industry, news related to your industry, then you could be talking about that. 10% could be industry news, so what people are talking about in the news regarding your industry. 5% could be personal interaction, so it could be you asking a question to your audience and letting your audience contribute. So you could be you could be posting a post saying, what's your favorite time of the year and why, and then people start contributing and explain what their favorite time of the year is and why. And so the posts are actually personal interactions and dialogue. There's so many things you could be posting. You have to make sure you're not one dimensional. By one dimensional, I mean always posting the same thing over and over again. Because as I said, when you're one dimensional, when you post at one dimensional, you become um, you become predictable. When you're predictable, you're boring. When you're boring, no one engages with you. And every time you post, nothing happens because people have gone somewhere else where they get more entertainment, more value. 20% could be tips, tricks, and advice. So again, going back to my summer dress example, if you're selling summer dresses for women, 20% of your post could be tips on the best colors to use, or the best patterns, or the best shapes depending on body shape, things like that. You could be using posts to educate your audience on how to make better buying decisions. Barry is asking, not too sure, what is a hashtag for? And then your question was cut off. Not too sure what you're trying to ask here, Barry. Kristen's asking, can we use 2-3 hashtags on Facebook business page? Yes, up to 3 maximum on Facebook. On Instagram, you can up to 30. On platforms like Twitter and Facebook, 3 would be the maximum. More than 3 looks a little bit desperate. But on Instagram, it's up to 30 you can use. Another question from Sean. Is there a minimum ad spend needed for Facebook ads to work? I've heard that if I spend less than $1,000, I won't get any results. That's really not true. It really depends on your target audience, your business, the time of the year, the competition, how many ads are running for the same target audience at a specific time. So there is no actual answer to that. What I tell people is start small with what you can afford, and build on that. But there is no rule. It's impossible to set a rule because every business is different. The products are different, the target audience is different, the timing is different. So there's no rule. To be honest, I started with $5 a day, just to get my feet wet and to test the water and see how I'm going, and I built on that. So you can start small, do what I did, and then sometimes if you're facing really quiet times in your business, you might want to ramp up your budget and increase your budget just to make up for the really quiet times during the year, because every business has pretty much quiet times. And then when it's really busy times and you don't need to advertise as much, you might decrease your budget. So you have complete control. This is why I like social media advertising more than TV ads and radio ads and all that stuff, is because you have complete control. You can put the pause button, you can press the pause button, you can add budget, cut budget. You have complete control. Barry's asking, what is the purpose of a hashtag? Well, with hashtags, what happens is that when people are looking for information around a topic, they usually look for the hashtags around a topic. So let's say I'm looking for organic rice milk. I want to know everything I need to know about organic rice milk. Or at some point, a lot of people were looking for special non-plastic straws. So they were looking for paper straws. So they were looking at what people were saying about the best paper straws, or the best straws for the environment. So in order to look for information about what people were saying about these products, they would look at the hashtag relevant to that topic, and then they would look at all the posts that included that hashtag. So when you include a hashtag in a post, then your post automatically goes under that conversation. So your post gets seen by more people than just your audience. So if you don't put a hashtag, the people who will see your post are just mainly the people who are your followers. But if you start putting a hashtag, people following these certain conversations and looking and reading these conversations will see your post regardless of whether they're a follower. So I hope that makes sense. It helps increase your reach, get more eyeballs to your posts. I hope that makes sense and I haven't confused you even more. Jessica's asking, does Facebook has hashtags? Yeah, you can use hashtags on Facebook. And Jessica is asking, do they work similar to Instagram? Absolutely, absolutely. Kisha is saying that she's promoting a book right now, is concerned about being one-dimensional. So I post a few shout outs a day acknowledging purchase of the book trailer the next day. I want to do polls. Was considering quotes from the book as well. Any specific suggestion of types of posts that do well in book launches? Posting reviews. And again, it doesn't have to be all about the book itself. If the book covers a topic, let's say the book covers the topic of weight loss, it you don't necessarily have to talk about the book, but start giving recipes, weight loss recipes. Talk about people's transformations, before and after pictures. Talk about the challenges people may face. Talk about the different apps people can use in order to lose weight. So still don't be off topic. Still talk about what you cover in the book in terms of the theme of the book, but it doesn't have to be post directly relevant to the book itself. I hope that makes sense. So don't go off topic, but don't just talk about the book. I hope that makes sense. Tyra, sorry. Tyra is saying an awesome training session. It kept me awake after driving over 750 plus miles. Wow, fantastic. Tara is saying, I thought of a question. Someone asked the question. Nice to know that I'm vibrating on a positive level with others. You definitely are. Thanks so much. And sorry to hear you had to drive so much. Oh, Barry says, wow, hashtags open up a whole new world for me. Oh, I'm glad to hear. Okay. So as I said, the content plan, make sure that your posts are multi-dimensional. So for me, my company is called Social Media Worldwide, and we provide we're a social media agency, so we do social media marketing for businesses. And so obviously I try for my post to be multi-dimensional. So for example, I will share a blog post that I published, then I'll mix it up a little bit, and I'll just share with you examples of how we try to make our post a bit multi-dimensional. And then I'll put a quote here, and then I'll put a picture of myself getting ready for a webinar. I try to mix it up a little bit. Step number 5 is tracking. So we're almost done here with all the steps. So hang on, it's almost done. Step number 5 is tracking. So obviously, once you've put together your strategic plan and you're executing it, right? So you know what to post, when to post, how to post it, etc. You need to start tracking, but don't track everything. You need to track based on your goal. So if your goal is a traffic goal, then only track the traffic. If your goal is engagement, only track the engagement. If your goal is audience size, increasing audience size, then only track audience size, right? So there are different tools out there that allows you to track this. So don't go crazy and try and track everything when you don't need to. So sproutsocial.com is a good tool that tracks pretty much everything. Just make sure you only pick what you want to track, okay? Or else you'll be inundated with data. I don't know what you say. In Australia, we say data. So you'll be inundated with information that you might not need. So just pick and choose what matters to you, what tracking matters to you. Simplymeasure.com is also another tool that you can use. It, again, as I said, it tracks everything. So just pick what matters to you at that specific time of your strategic plan. Then you've got the built-in social media analytics. So for example, Facebook has Facebook Insights, Instagram has Instagram Analytics, etc. So you can use the built-in social media analytics. Clickmeter.com is a tool that tracks clicks. So if your goal is a traffic goal where you just want to get as many clicks back to your website, use a tool that measures clicks. So Clickmeter is one of them. Your CRM system. So for me, my tracking tool is my CRM system because my goal is an email list. It's email list building. So I want to get as many names and emails as possible back to my database. So I use my CRM system to track how many opt-ins I get, how many people subscribe to my email list. So I use that as a tracking tool only. But again, because that's what my goal is. But if your goal is a traffic goal, then you might use a tool such as clickmeter.com. So you make more informed decisions when you track. You can know, you can troubleshoot if you're having a problem, right? You can know, well, the reason why I'm not making sales might be because I'm not getting enough traffic. I might not be getting enough traffic because my posts are not engaging enough. So you're able to make more informed decisions. Remember, the secret is doing more of what works and less of what doesn't. And if you're not tracking, then you don't know what's working. And if you don't know what's working, you don't know how to do more of what's working and less of what doesn't. So that's why tracking is the final key component of putting together social media strategic plan, because it's great to have a strategic plan and it's great to execute it, but then how do you know what the next step is, and how do you know whether you're progressing towards achieving your goal? So Scott is asking, where is your company? So we have a company in Europe and in Australia. So I live in Australia half the year, and I've got staff in Australia, and half the year I live in Europe. So currently I'm in Europe, and we've got staff in Europe, but we serve customers worldwide. So we have plenty of clients in the US, plenty in Australia, plenty in the UK, and a few in France. I've got two team members who are French, and they serve our French clients. So I hope this makes sense. David is asking, is there a template in Excel or Word to record all your planning and also tracking? I create my own templates based on what I want to achieve. So I've created my own template for the strategic plan. I've created my own template for the tracking. So I create my own based on what matters to me. So yes. Oh, Owen's asking, how are you getting to Australia when they've closed their borders? We've actually got a business exemption. Good question here, Owen. I got a business exemption because I have an office in France and I've got staff. I got a business exemption. So that's my little secret of how I managed to leave Australia. I hope that answers your question. Scott's saying, better that you're in Europe now than down under. I couldn't agree more with you. All right, so again, with tracking, as I said, you can troubleshoot. So you can know whether you're experiencing an audience problem or a traffic problem, an engagement problem, a conversion problem. When you're tracking, you can see straight away, the numbers don't lie. You can see straight away where the problem is if you're having a problem. If everything is going gangbusters for you and you're kicking goals and everything's doing fine, then that's fine. But if you're not achieving your goals or you're slow, it's too slow, then through tracking you can really troubleshoot. Then I've added a last step here, and is acceleration strategy. So there's different ways you can really put everything I've outlined here on steroids, really. And the acceleration strategy is my 4 favorite ways to really accelerate things, and I've mentioned them before, is paid advertising. If you really want to get results really fast, allocate a budget for paid advertising. It will skyrocket everything. You'll build an audience faster. You'll reach more people. You'll get more traffic. It just helps when you pay for advertising. Influencer marketing, also my second best acceleration strategy. Paying people who have a large and engaged audience to give you a shout out, to basically endorse you. That works really well. I've used that as well. I don't use it all the time, but from time to time, once or twice a year, I'll do that. I create other offers if I feel that I'm not selling, I've kind of reached a plateau with my products. I'll create another product and launch that, so I can make more sales. So creating other offers also helps. So if you've been selling, I don't know, two types of fitness equipment, and you kind of reach a plateau, maybe introduce a third type of fitness equipment. Testing different offers, that's another way to accelerate things. So you might be always advertising the same thing on social media. Try different things. I know here, I think it was, let me see, Keisha, for example, promoting her book. Okay, so you're just promoting one book. How about you start promoting other people's books for a commission? You might want to try that. How about promoting audiobooks for a commission? Mix it up a little bit if you really want to accelerate things and get more by doing the same thing, the same amount of effort, but with the same amount of effort, you could be achieving much more when you start branching out a little bit. Creating other offers, testing different offers. So just to recap here, the 6 steps, and then we'll go into the Q&A. Step number 1 was auditing your accounts. Step number 2 was identifying competition, seeing or your threats or your advantages, and then we're setting goals and KPIs. Knowing your KPIs. Then step number 4 was putting together your content plan and your posting schedule based on your goals and your priorities. Step number 5 was making sure that you're tracking everything, that the tracking is in place. So eventually, after a few months, at the deadline of achieving your goal, at that deadline that you've set yourself, you can troubleshoot what's worked well, what hasn't worked so well, and then when you put together your next strategic plan, you'll know exactly what to do. So every time you're building on your success. Step number 6 was different acceleration strategies on how to put everything on steroids. So these are the 6 steps. Now, before I go into the Q&A, I want to share with you how I can do all this for you, how we can actually set it up all for you, how we can put together a strategic plan for you so you don't have to. So we can actually go ahead and put together your strategic plan for you. So let me explain what that means and the price of that. So you would get a done for you social media marketing plan. So everything I've outlined for you, the auditing, the content plan, the tracking of your competitors, setting up the tracking and all that, we would actually do for you. So based on your goals and KPIs, we would put your social media marketing plan together for you based on your competition, of course, based on what is working, what's not for you. So you stop guessing what to do. So we can put a strategic plan together for any social media platform that you're on. So we can put it together for one platform. If you're on one platform, we can put it together for all the different platforms you're on. So the value of this is $997. That's not how much we're going to charge, but that would be the value. We'll also do a video review of your social media. So I will put my headset on and I will record my screen and I will go through every single social media account you've ever created and I will pull it apart. I'll identify the advantages you have, the great opportunities you have, the threats. I'll compare it to your competition and I'll record myself as I'm doing it. I'll record myself, my voice, and my screen, and I'll give you a complete video review of your social media. I will pull it apart. I will tell you what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, what needs to be optimized, what needs to be deleted, where you're wasting time on, what you should build up on, your successes, your failures, everything. I won't leave any stone unturned, and I'll do that for you myself. So not a team member, actually myself. So I'll conduct an audit of your social media so you know your strengths and your weaknesses. You'll identify opportunities. I'll identify them for you. You'll identify threats. The value of this is $297. That's how much I value my time and the video I'm going to put together for you. We'll also optimize your social media. So anything that needs to be redone, any banners, any logos, any images, any bio that needs to be rewritten, anything that needs to be rebranded, rewritten, changed, we will actually do for you. We've got in-house a branding team and a graphic design team, so it's all included, and we'll make sure that you're happy with them. Any changes you want, unlimited changes at no extra cost whatsoever. So if we need to create a new banner for you, we'll create it, and for you, and then if we need to create a new description, we'll write it for you, and then we'll make sure you review it, and you're happy with it. And once you're happy with it, we'll go ahead and replace everything for you. So we'll really optimize your social media accounts. And we'll also set in place a system where your competition is monitored, so that you'll attract the right audience. So we'll do all this for you so that your brand awareness grows, that your branding is consistent across all your social media accounts, so you really become follow worthy. And that's yours for life, by the way. The value of this is $497. You won't have to worry about optimizing your social media accounts. Again, that will be you can have a set and forget mentality there for you. We also create 1 month worth of content for you. So not only are we going to outline what type of content you should be posting, we'll actually create it for you. So any images that we'll need to create, we'll create them. Any posts, we'll write them for you, we'll create it. And you can use this content that we create over and over as a template. So you can execute the marketing plan. So literally, once you have the marketing plan, all you need to do is copy and paste the post and publish them. Nothing else to do. You'll actually have 1 month worth of content that you can post, and then you can recycle that content every time if you want to. So you really start building momentum. So you save time creating content, and really so that you hit the ground running as soon as you get the strategic plan. You can straight away execute it. This is what Caroline Nettle had to say. She said that thanks to our service, she got 46,000 subscribers in just 3 months. Grant Wheeler said that thanks to what we set up for him, he can't keep up with all the work that's come through social media, and he's got a local coffee business. You also get 6 months of support, so personal access to me and my team. If you want to speak to our social media managers or our graphic designers or our branding team, you've got access to me and my team. Also email support as well. So you really get expert advice for your campaigns and business. As I said, I started my business back in 2011, 10 years ago, and since then we've helped hundreds of businesses. So you can really get to pick our brains and piggyback on our experience, really. And the value of this is $497. You also get my complete home study course. So you master Facebook marketing, and you master Instagram marketing and Twitter marketing. So it's called Social Media 360, and it's all the modules on how to market on Facebook, market on Instagram, market on Twitter. It's 3 courses in one, and this sells on my website right now for $585, and you get that for life for free as part of this done for you social media marketing plan. So in this course, and the reason why I give you access to this course for life is that once you receive the strategic plan, how to really succeed on social media. So it teaches you everything you need to know. How to create viral campaigns on social media, how I make $80 to $100 a day from social media. So I show you behind the scenes of my own business, how I monetize social media. So you can literally model and duplicate what I do. How to build a huge engaged audience, how to get 300 leads a month. So again, behind the scenes of my own business, I get approximately 300 leads a month to my business. And I'll show you actually exactly how I do it. So really behind the scenes of highly profitable campaigns, not just my business, but other businesses we've helped. Also how to easily secure shout outs. There's ready-made templates there in that course. How to partner with influencers to scale your efforts. So again, templates there. How to put together a highly effective strategic plan. How to optimize your social media accounts for more authority and skyrocket your brand and become follow worthy. And I said this sells for $585 on my website. You can check if you want, and it's yours for free. this is what Colleen had to say. She said, I increased my audience from 60 people to over 2,000 people in just a few weeks. Social media worldwide is an asset for any business seeking to create a community of potential customers. Pat Mesiti, he's a world-renowned public speaker and best-selling author, and he came to us. He just wanted to turn his audience into leads, and we managed to do that for him. So could you do this another way? Yes, of course. You can hire other marketing agencies, but there's nothing less than $1,000. They charge nothing less than $1,000 to do it. Or you can do it yourself as well. Of course, you're very welcome to do it. I've given you enough information on this webinar to go ahead and do it yourself. But if you're time poor, you don't have the patience for it, then there is no comparison to what we can provide. Now, if I could make this done for you social media marketing plan extremely affordable to own, who would be interested in getting involved? Just typing yes. If I could make it a no-brainer where it pays for itself, and extremely affordable, and I mean it is extremely affordable, a total no-brainer. Just type in yes if you'd be interested in getting involved. I just want to see. Wilson says yes. Cyrus, Kim, we have two Kims, one with a Y and one with an I. Sean and Adrian, fantastic. Sean, lots of yeses coming through while I'm talking to you. Pauline says yes. Owen, Jackie, fantastic. Let's recap what you get. You get your own strategic plan. So we'll put it together based on you. So we'll ask you a bunch of questions to get to know a bit your business and your goals and your aspirations, and then we'll put it together for you. And it includes the content as well. So we'll create the content for you. So no more guessing, no more wasting time trying to create images and engaging content. Optimize social media profiles. So we'll optimize all your social media profiles. I'll do a video review of your social media, content creation for a whole month, phone and email support, the social media 360 home study course, over $3,400 in value. Here's why I'm going to give you an amazing offer today. We want your success story. We put all the fantastic testimonials that we receive from our clients on our website, and the more testimonials we have, the more our business grows. So we really want you to be happy. We've got skin in the game here. But in order to do that, we need to work together. Now, as I said, to make this a no-brainer decision where it pays for itself, it's just a no-brainer, I'm also adding one incredible bonus if you take action after this webinar. We're going to do one social media advertising campaign set up and optimized for you. So we'll actually create the ads for you. You don't have to run them if you don't want to, but we'll create them. And if one day you have a budget for ads, you can actually press play. So we'll set them up. You don't have to run them. You can pause them. They can be inactive, but they'll be in your account, and you can simply click play. So we'll create all the copy for it, the images for it. We'll optimize them. We'll do the targeting for you. And if you want, you can run them, or you can pause them, or run them a little bit, then pause them. You have complete control. The value of this is $997. So we'll create the ads for you. So let's recap what you get. You get a strategic plan, optimize social media profiles, the video review, content creation for a month, phone and email support, the social media 360 home study course, and an advertising campaign set up for you, over $4,000 in value. And it's only 497 Australian dollars, which is approximately 380 US dollars, a no-brainer. You get all that for only 380 US dollars, a no-brainer. I wanted to remove price as a barrier. So I know that everyone this webinar can afford this. It really pays for itself. Just the value you're going to get from it, just the time you're going to save trying to figure it out yourself, trying to do it yourself, or the people you're going to try to hire, the graphic designers or anyone, they're going to charge you more than that. That's for sure. So 380 US dollars only. Go to socialmediaworldwide.com/start. Go to socialmediaworldwide.com/start. Lock it in at this price. If you want us to put together the strategic plan later on, that's fine as well, but lock it in. Lock it in now. At this price, we can start straight away if you're ready for us to put it together for us. Or you can say, can you put it together in a month when I launch my business, or whatever it is, you decide on the start date. Complete flexibility. It is up to you, but locking in at this price, you will be glad you did. Only available for the first 6 people, because obviously I've added a lot of bonuses here, and it is quite time consuming to put all this together. So this is not false scarcity. I mean it. After the 6 places are taken, that is it. There won't be an opportunity to sign up at this price with the bonuses. Okay. So again, not for scarcity. After 6 people, I will pull down the page. I always do, and the places are always taken. So make sure you're among the first 6 people, only because I can only deliver this to 6 people. So you're also protected by our 30-day money back guarantee. So we back up what we say. If for any reason you're not happy with what we've delivered, or you've changed your mind for any reason, I won't even ask you what the reason is. If it's within your 30 days, then you get a full money back guarantee for any reason. It's not exactly what you had in mind. So do you think you need this? Type in yes if you think you need this. Cyrus says it says 497 on the website. It's because it's in Australian dollars. So my company is Australian, so it will charge you in Australian dollars, but it's the equivalent of 380 US dollars. So it says 497, but it's Australian dollars. That's why. Jessica is asking, does this include scheduled posts, or are we responsible for posting? So we will give you the content, but you get to schedule it. Barry saying signing up now, fantastic. Jean is saying yes, fantastic. Janice is asking, can I buy now and use later? Absolutely. You tell us when you want to start, not a problem. Lock it in at this price. You will be glad you did. You'll be in very, very good hands. Sean says sounds good, fantastic. Few yeses. Stanesha saying yes, I'm in, fantastic. All right. All right, so today only 497 Australian dollars. Remember, it's the equivalent of 380 US dollars. My company is in Australian dollars. My company is Australian, so I'm obviously charging in Australian dollars, but it's approximately 375 US dollars, approximately 380 US dollars, approximately. Kim says, I'm in. Thank you. Fantastic. Barry saying so much better than to figure this out on my own. Been trying for months. Absolutely, you'll be in very, very good hands. You'll know exactly what to do, what not to do, and when to do it. Okay, so instead of spinning your wheels and just guessing what you should be doing, you'll know exactly what to do, when to do it. Removes all the guesswork. So you'll be in very, very good hands. I mean it. I've had people say to me that our strategic plans are the best thing that people have ever done for their business. So it is really worth it, and it pays for itself. It really does pay for itself. Okay. Any questions? Now is the time. Go to socialmediaworldwide.com/start. socialmediaworldwide.com/start. So Jessica is asking for the link again. That's socialmediaworldwide.com/start. Sean saying sounds good. Kim, I'm in. Fantastic. Let's see if we have any other questions. Now is the time. For those of you who are signing up, we will be in touch with you within 24 hours by email. So keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for that. We will be in touch by email. So socialmediaworldwide.com/start. Make sure you lock it in at this price and all the bonuses. You will be glad you did. Paula says this has been very helpful. Thank you. You're very welcome. Pauline says, I'm in. Hope all goes well. It will. Trust me. I've helped a lot of businesses, and they've said it's the best thing they've ever received. Jan says, do you need my email? When you sign up, it will ask for your email address, so we will have your email address to reach out to you. Keisha says, great price. Thanks, Keisha. Jean says, I just joined you and wonder if you could go through the individual details once again. So I'll just go back to the recap of what you get. There you go.
And Karina, sorry to interrupt you, it's Alicia. And as you recap this, let me just say that this is a lot of amazing value that you're giving. And as we translated that into US dollars, it's amazing. Okay, now you can do it. I just had to chime in and be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Just what a value. So, okay, go ahead and recap.
Thank you. Yeah, it is really a no-brainer. I know how much time and effort it takes on our side. Um,
Yes,
and so I know it's good value. I really know it's good value. It takes a lot of time and research, and it takes quite a few team members. I have myself, obviously, and I've got the social media managers, I've got the graphic designers also involved, and the branding team. So it does involve quite a bit of time and resources on our side. So I know it's
I can
it's
tell.
definitely a really, really good deal. I'm not saying that to brag. I really, really mean it. So people will be in very good hands.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, do your recap.
All right. So yeah, this is the recap. This is what you're getting. Remember the link. I think the link will be added in the chat. It's socialmediaworldwide.com/start. Barry saying this is going to be so fun. So happy I signed in today. Good to hear. That's nice to hear. Okay. Kisha says my can would be new, no audit necessary. Okay, yeah, no problem at all. Can you help from scratch? Yeah, absolutely. I can help you from scratch. Absolutely. That's not a problem at all. Sean says, I'm in, can't wait to get going. Great. I mean, that's a wrap from me. Unless you have other questions, welcome to those of you who have signed up. You have done the right choice here, no doubt. So congratulations. And as I said, we'll be in touch with you within 24 hours. That's a wrap from me. I hope you got a lot of value. And I hope you have all the necessary information to just hit the ground running and let us know how it went for you. I love hearing about success stories, so keep them coming. So thanks so much for watching. That's a wrap from me. All the best wherever you guys are in the world. Have a good day or a good night, depending on where you are. It's been really good fun being on this webinar, and all these people were so engaging with all their questions. It made my job so
They
much
were.
easier. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Karina, and thank you everybody who came on today. I know that you guys are so excited. So if you haven't jumped in yet, go ahead and jump in. Raina, if you would put that link in the chat one more time for everybody. And remember, it's just 380 USD. I see that we had somebody here in Australia, so it's 497 Australia. Let me see, who was that? Oh, Janice. I think that was Janice. But you guys were great. Thank you so much for being so amazing to Karina as well. I really appreciate that. And you know, if you are sitting on the fence trying to think like, do I really need this? You already know that you need this. Like social media is so important, social media marketing and really getting this going, generating traffic using social media. If anyone was to ask me what's the number one way to generate traffic, I always say it's social media. Social media is like a faucet, and when you turn on that faucet, that is when you get the traffic that you want, the people that you want, the leads that you want. So come on guys and turn on the faucet. Join Karina with her amazing offer. I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Karina. Keisha says thank you. Jackie says thank you. I didn't see everybody who said they're in. If you're in, just type I'm in the chat. I saw Sean typed it. Keisha typed it. Let me just see. Kim, hi Kim. Kim typed it. Hey Barry, Barry typed it. Really great deal. I know. I see a lot of you are taking advantage of it. So great. Again, click on that link because I'm ending this webinar in like 60 seconds. So click on that link so you can join really quickly. Jessica, hey Jessica. Jessica is in. Um, Barry says you guys are so awesome. Thank you, thank you. Jeanne is in. Yes, Cyrus. Cyrus, hey Cyrus, how are you? I love your webpage. Your webpage is amazing. Cyrus says it's just really a good deal. It is. Hi Jessica Boyd, what's going on? I know that Cyrus and Jessica, you both are building your brands as speakers, so this is perfect for you. Please, you know, dig in, pay attention, and take advantage of, I know both of you are in, but really take advantage of it because you need, if you guys are speakers, you really need to build your brands as speakers. Like you've got to go for it. So your goal is always to see how you can build your brand as a speaker. Social media is so important in that. Okay, learn as much as you can while you're in her program and crush it. Shashil says it's an awesome deal. Yes, it is an awesome deal. 10 seconds left, guys. Did everybody click the link? You guys click the link to sign up. Anybody else need help? If you need some help, type help into the comments. Type help into the comments. Sean, I will make sure she takes care of you. Do not worry about that because we love you. So I'll send her a message. Anybody else have any questions? Going once, going twice. And Raina put her email in there as well. If you would just remind Karina when you email her that you are a member of the Learning Tube so she knows how to identify you, that is fantastic. Pauline says she is in as well. So welcome, Pauline, and thanks for jumping in. A special thanks to Ava on my team who is here today, sent out all the reminders. Are you guys getting your text reminders so you won't miss it? And thank you so much to Raina for being here as well and being so active in the comments. I appreciate you guys. You guys are the most amazing team in the world. Thanks everybody for coming. We will see you next Thursday at 2 p.m. for your next training session here on the Learning Tube. Keisha says, thank you for the reminders, Ava. See you next time on the Learning Tube. And remember, bring a friend to the next Learning Tube session. All right, everybody. Bye for now. Bye. Bye, everybody. Take care. Bye.